Okay, book 3 of beginning rock guitar, rock prelude No.II. And we had just done grace notes where we that was in a blues riff. Now here we're applying that to kind of a folk rock kind of riff. I don't know if I'd call it a riff, chord progression, a chordal thing. So we're doing a simple A minor chord, and we're going on the first 4 notes. It's down, 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 skip a string, up, and then a hammer, a grace note hammer, down, up, down, up. So you might have to practice, like in the beginning, just practice each half of the measure. Practice the first 4 notes, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, and just get to where you can make sure when you skip a string and you're doing this kind of picking, and you're going to skip a string and then do an upstroke, you have to make sure that your pick goes beyond the string that you're doing the next upstroke on. Because if you just go like that, then you have to move it again to do the upstroke. And so you want to use the swing of your wrist to aid you in the string crossings, especially skipping around. And there are a lot of like string skips in this one, adjacent strings and string skips. So it's a mix of the two, Here you're doing 3 adjacent strings and then a string skip. And then it's the second half of the measure is the grace note, and you're just hammering the open string to the first fret, first finger, and it's down, up, down, up. So you might give that hammer a little kick, like a little bit of an accent, So it's down, 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 up, down, up, down, up. Well, like I say, you might want to practice each half of the measure, and you could apply that to any measure in this. If you stumble or find that you constantly stumble, then, and this is a hard one to get all the way through. I had to do it several times, before starting this lesson because I hadn't played it in a long time, for one thing, and it's not easy picking, and also, all the little twiddles and things. You have to really be on top of it. A lot of string skips and things like that, and the down and up picking. So this is kind of the thing that keeps coming back is this A minor chord, and it's always this same riff. Then you go into a C chord, and then so you're doing that same hammer of O to 1 grace note, and that makes it like a C major 7th chord. Unless you know theory and jazz chords, you don't have to know that really right now, and we're not really thinking. This is more like a sort of a classical piece, in that we're doing different things with different chords, and we're not naming them all. Like we're not really concerned with naming every chord. It's just a consequence of the riff. It's a little motif, that little, and then when you get into that C chord, and it's the same picking, it's the same strings. So as the A minor, okay? But you got from the C chord, you're going to an E minor, and you're doing a string skip, 2 adjacent strings, another string skip. So that, try try to really get, you may have to work on that half of the measure, and then the same 0-1, and it's down, up, just like it was on the A minor. So that's the first section. I'm just kind of walking through some of the difficulties of each section. And then the second section starts with that same A minor twice, and make sure you do the repeats. If you notice, I was repeating the first 4 measures repeat, and then the next 4 measures, the second group of 4 measures repeats, and then there's no repeating for the rest of the 2 pages. So the first 2 sections of 4 measures repeat. And so be aware of that. When you're playing it properly, you want to do those repeats. So now I'm into the second 4 measures, and it starts with that same A minor, doing it slowly. And then it's a D minor. I usually hold the pinky a little bit and just let it die. I like to say, let your notes die a natural death. Let them ring until they die as much as possible. But again, that D minor, and there's a string skip. So the hammer is 0-1, but it's on the first string now. And then it's up, and then skip a string, and then come back to the second string. So it's a little different pattern, Hold the pinky a little bit, and then your hammer fingers 1, or frets 1 to 3, but it's fingers 1 to 4. Now, the picking there, for some reason, I was having trouble with it, when I was trying to record it. I'm being honest, You might practice that and just go over that hammer, that grace note hammer. It's maybe not real easy to hammer the pinky. If you can learn to tap the note and then make sure you swing the wrist a little bit with your right hand. So it's like, again, the D minor, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. We repeat it, back to the repeat sign, and then D minor, hold the pinky a little bit. Now we're back to the A minor, but we're going on with no repeats for the rest of the piece, and do that twice. So it kind of keeps coming back to this A minor. Now the rhythm changes, and we're doing a C chord, but it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and so you have a tie into the third beat. Down, 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 up, down, up. So make sure you're doing up, down, up, where the tie is. And down, 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 up, down, up, and then down, 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 up, down, up. Now, this is interesting. You're doing kind of a D minor, but without the first fret. It's a kind of a modal sounding chord. And we're kind of doing that with the A minor, like when we do that. It's kind of a modal chord, and now we're doing it with the D minor. And it kind of, gives you that modal Dorian kind of sound, but I don't know if it's really Dorian. I'm just, you know, giving it an affectation there, but it's now you're fingering like a D minor, fingers 2 and 4 through the tie, and then lift 2 and put 3 where 2 was, and you need your second finger on the second fret of the 4th string. So you're going to re-finger the chord coming back on the arpeggio. It's fingers 2 and 4, and then 3 and 4. But the 4 stays. I mean, the 4 is common to both fingerings. Basically, you're doing this chord and then that chord, which is like a modal A minor, A sus kind of thing. Okay? So watch the fingerings in the tab there. It's like 2, 4, 3, 2. Then you have a series of ties. And so anyway, I'm going to go back to what it says. Now this chord is like a D add second. So it's if you put the first fret down, it would be a D minor. Sorry, and then but let me start on that D, and then walk you through it. It's down, 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 up, tie, up, and then third finger, second finger, and then down, 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 up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And that's kind of a scale order thing. But now, with these upstrokes, with the ties, you want to accent the upstrokes, which is contrary to what we usually do. We usually have the downstrokes do the accented notes, and the upstrokes are lighter notes. But here, it's down, 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 up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Again, down, 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 up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And then you're back to a C chord, and then that D add second. Same thing, change the fingerings from second finger to third and second fingers coming back. And then you're doing an E sus. So you have some string skips here. 6th string, 4th string, 3rd string, 1st string. Down, 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 up, down, 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 up, and if you can get through that, then you get back to this first thing, which you should know pretty well by now. So it ends kind of easily, like back to the first theme. But so that second page, it is tricky going into the second page. I'll go through it again slowly. So after the first 2 repeated sections, let me just start on the next section, which goes to the end. And that's A minor twice. I messed up there. And then down, up, sorry. Down, 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 up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, E sus. With that E, you're doing fingers 2 and 3 for E sus, and then 2 and 1 I did a gig tonight, and I thought I would record these lessons after the gig. So um, it is kind of late. So I stumble a little bit when I'm talking and trying to play at the same time. But I hope you get the gist of it. And it is really a nice sort of, think of it as an etude, like a rock study in picking and some modal chords. It would be kind of, I guess, like a progressive rock kind of thing that maybe you would hear Emerson, Lake and Palmer do, or Yes, or, those kind of groups. But with basic simple chords like A minor, C, and E minor. And there's a song that kind of halfway inspired this that we'll do later on. It's Street Spirit by Radiohead. And I'm not going to try to play it right now because it's different than this, but it has a lot of similarities in going from a C chord to an E minor. It's like anyway. I'm not going to try to play it, but I'll teach it in a future lesson, maybe a couple lessons from now. But enjoy this. I hope you get something out of it. There is a lot to this, and you really have to read it and read the tablature, and that's part of, we're in a more advanced stage right now with the third book, and we've had all the basics, and now we're mixing things up and doing more challenging picking and left-hand stuff. So always, if you get frustrated with it, try to just take one measure and master it. Like I was saying in the beginning, do a half a measure, and then do the other half of the measure 20 times each, and then maybe 10 times each, and then eventually do the whole measure 10 times. And just, fiddle around with it, kind of doodle with it. At first you're going to be just kind of what I call picking through it mode, where you're not really trying to get the rhythm up to speed. You're just trying to figure out your fingerings and wait a minute, there's a string skip, and what's the picking there? It's down, up, it's a hammer. You have to figure out all the little nuts and bolts, and then try to get it to flow a little bit. So let me see if I can play through it slowly. I'm getting a little bit tired, so I may make some mistakes, but I'm going to go really slow this time. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Sounds like I'm repeating again, but I'm not. D minor, sorry. sounds like I'm repeating because we keep coming back to this A minor chord. Then the C with the tie. Up, up, down, 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 up, third and second fingers. Up, down, up, down, up, down, down. Sorry, missed a string. Change fingerings, third, second, E sus, fingers 2 and 1 on E, Okay, now one other little detail, if you've got my book and you're reading through this tablature, which you probably need the tablature, you probably need the book, but the top of page 2, where you're going, there is a picking in the second measure at the very top line of page 2, the second measure, well, I'll play the first measure going into it. It's down, 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 up, and this should be up, down, sorry, up, down, up, but it says down, down, up. So, and also the note that it's tied to has a downstroke, and you don't even play that note. So that's a typo. I did a kind of a cut and paste there, and when I originally did this lesson, I sort of cut and pasted the down and up strokes from another lesson, and it kind of messed, or maybe another section, and I didn't correct it. So there is a mistake there. The second measure, the first eighth note that you're tying into should not have a downstroke, so just cut, cross that out. You're not striking the string. And then it's up, down, up instead of down, down, up. So it's, what you'll see in the second measure is down, 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 up. So it really should be nothing and then up, down, up. So it should be up, down, up. But it's similar to the other notes after the tie in the other chords where you're doing like the first one, down, 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 up. See, I just cut and pasted that, and it doesn't apply to the second measure. So it's down, 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 up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So there's a typo in the page. Okay, so just wanted to touch on that. It was kind of messing me up when I was reading it, and I realized that throughout the book, I mean, there are a couple of mistakes here and there that I never corrected, but it you should be able to figure it out. So enjoy this. If you like this, please like the video. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, and go to my Facebook page and like it. John Hedger Guitar Studio. Thank you. Enjoy.